This is the 2021 ROG Strix SCAR 17 gaming laptop, and it is the very first computer that I have ever owned. Under the keyboard, there's a Ryzen 9 5900HX and RTX 3070 laptop GPU with 8GB of GDDR6 VRAM. It also includes 32GB of DDR4 sodium RAM and 1TB of Gen3 SSD. The display is a 1080p 300Hz IPS screen with full sRGB coverage. It's a pretty typical setup for gaming laptops back in 2021. On the outside, it still looks great, as if the owner cleans it every week and never brings it outside his bedroom. Under the laptop casing, there's barely any dust because I just deep cleaned it a month ago and replaced the thermal paste on the CPU and GPU die. The thermals have drastically improved since then, and the CPU now consistently runs at maximum turbo clock speed without frequently hitting the temperature limit. Before we get into the game benchmarks, let's run a 3D Mark TimeSpy benchmark to see its theoretical performance. I have set the PBO curve optimizer to -18 and overclocked the GPU core by 150MHz and the VRAM by 200MHz. I've tried running the benchmarks with higher numbers, but they all ended up crashing or even shutting down the laptop. Now, back to the results. The GPU score is 10,532 and the CPU score is 9,780. The scores are equivalent to a desktop PC with Ryzen 7 5700 and RTX 4060, which is a common setup for an entry-level gaming PC in 2026. Alright, let's see how it performs in different games at 1080p. I'll begin with Valorant and CS2. In Valorant with high settings, the average FPS is 207, and the 1% low is at 114 FPS. The results are pretty much the same after I lowered the settings. In CS2 with very high graphical preset, the average FPS is 150, and 1% low at 78. You can see a noticeable difference when I change the settings to low. The average FPS becomes 217 with 1% low at 101. Moving on to AAA titles, starting with Forza Horizon 5. With extreme graphical settings, the laptop managed to run at an average of 87 FPS, with a 1% low of 62 FPS. When I maxed out the settings, the average FPS was 74, and the 1% low was 55. The LSS upscaling ruins the image quality in this game, so I didn't test it out. I've also downloaded GTA 5 Enhanced on this laptop, so I might as well take a look at the performance in this game. In the final scene of the in-game benchmark with max settings, the average FPS is 106 and the 1% low is 69. After enabling maximum ray tracing, the average FPS decreases to 64 and 1% low to 43. The LSS quality didn't improve the performance at all, but it actually provides better image quality than TAA. For the final game benchmark, Cyberpunk 2077, the average FPS was 53 and 1% low was 39 with max graphical settings. With ray tracing, the average FPS drops significantly to just 29, while 1% low was 22 FPS. The LSS quality increases the average FPS to 38. However, it is a better idea to lower the settings to high or medium and disable ray tracing if you want the game to be actually playable. I know what you're thinking of. None of those games were released in 2025 or later, but I think Cyberpunk alone is representative enough, because in that game, even a 5090 cannot get 60 FPS constantly with maximum ray tracing. Cyberpunk was just way ahead of its time. However, I'll be honest with you, those results don't seem impressive in 2026. But don't forget that this laptop came out in 2021, and I have been using it almost every day for the first 3 years, so there are inevitably performance losses. At the same time, there are some other issues that I noticed while using it in the past. Gaming laptops are super loud, everyone knows that. That's because there is limited space inside the laptop casing for air to flow through and cool the components. As a result, high-speed blower fans are crucial parts for better heat transfer efficiency. So whenever I'm gaming, the fan noise is simply unbearable. almost like the laptop is preparing to take off any second. Besides, since my laptop has an AMD CPU, the fans keep speeding up and slowing down when idling, because the PBO algorithm keeps boosting the CPU frequency to the max for absolutely no reason. I believe that Intel's clock boosting algorithm doesn't work that way, so I would love to try an Intel gaming laptop in the future. So, if you own a 5-year-old gaming laptop like I do, I'm pretty sure it can still last for at least another 3 years if you want to play new AAA titles in the future. You just gotta lower the settings and play without ray tracing. That way, your laptop will handle most games without any issues. But if you let me choose again, I wouldn't have bought a gaming laptop over a desktop. Unfortunately, it was my only option back in 2021 because of the crypto mining situation. I know that a lot of people faced the same issue back in 2021. Nonetheless, I enjoyed every single moment with my friends on this laptop. And that's what matters the most.